Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you guys how I do several different transfers because I feel like every transfer I have to position my feet differently, and this is something that I've held off on doing for a while just because I know that there's a lot of creepy people out there who just oddly like to see people with paralysis move their body, and I hate that a lot. But I figured I'd do it anyways because there's a lot of you guys who asked me how I do transfer on the bed, toilet, shower, on the couch, how I do all of that. So I thought I'd start off in my room on my bed, and then we'll move to the next area, which will probably be in the bathroom. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' comments and also your guys' suggestions if you guys have any for me on how I can do this better or faster. So if you guys have any comments or suggestions, please leave them down below and let's get started. So for a bed transfer, first thing I do is I pull up to the bed in an angle like this, and then I lock both wheels. And I'm going to do this quite slow. I can do this pretty fast, but I'm going to do this kind of slow so I can like walk you guys through it. Next step is I position my feet. So this foot, because I have shoes on, I will place it on top of the other foot like this. If I just had socks on or, you know, was barefoot or anything like that, I would pivot it a little bit off of the foot plate. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. So right now it's like this, and it would be against the bed, so it would be like this. But if it was with socks on, so my shoes don't get in the way, I will have it just about halfway off like this. So why I do this is because when I transfer onto the bed, it gives my feet room to pivot with me as I turn. This way they don't get stuck and I don't hurt or stress my ankles. So now my feet are positioned like this. So I'm going to put my hand underneath my leg because I have a very small fitted chair. So I will put my hand underneath my leg so that I can scoot myself forward. So I'm going to move just a tiny bit at a time. And as I'm doing that, I'm rotating my hip. So I'm rotating it like that. And then I'm going to lean forward, scoot to the edge. And so I have my hand pivoted like this because of my triceps aren't very strong. So I learned to compensate with other muscles. So now I am just going to push off with this one and move forward in this kind of position. And I pivot here. And then I grab the center of my cushion and move my hand. And I pivot again. And then I put my hand on the end of my cushion and I pivot one more time. So now I'm like this. Next step that I do to get my feet onto the bed is I will grab one leg, pick it up, and I'll throw it this way. I'm spasming, so give me a second. And then I move it this way. And then I pick up the other foot and I cross it over. And this will give me room. If my leg was right here, I wouldn't have enough room to get my hand back underneath my butt so that I can move over. It's a little bit harder with my shoes on. Another way that I like to do this when I don't have my shoes on is I will move over a little bit. Instead of picking my legs up and putting them directly on the bed, I will pick up my legs, and what I do is I hook. I use my tenodesis and my bicep and I hook, and I will actually put my feet onto my cushion here. Like I said, this is more difficult because I usually don't have shoes on when I'm on the bed. And I will drag myself backwards like that. And that's how, and then I'll pivot my legs over. So to get back into my chair, I do it just a tad bit differently, where I'm already kind of positioned to do the transfer. I will scoot all the way to the edge as far as I feel comfortable going. And then I will grab my left foot, whichever one's closest to the plate, and I will put it on the plate like that. Not all the way in, just enough where my toes are out, but there's enough gravity there. This gives my leg room to pivot over without it getting caught on the edge of the seat cushion. After I get it like this, I then put my hand in the middle of my cushion, and I will pivot myself over. This is hard to do in slow motion. And I will just start inching my way over. So now that I'm like this, I will go ahead and unlock my brakes. And then I will pivot out so that my foot doesn't get stuck on the back of my foot plate. I'm not hurting my ankles, and I will go ahead and put my foot back on. That is the end of this transfer. Next. So now I'm going to do a toilet transfer, and so I kind of always go in a similar angle towards things, this way that my bottom doesn't hit my wheels or my side guards. So another thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that when I do my transfers at home or in hotel rooms, I like that there's carpet because this prevents the chair from slipping out from underneath you. So as you guys had just seen, I have a carpet right by my bed. This way my chair doesn't slip. And inside the bathroom, I have cushions on the floor where my chair will not have any room to move. It just kind of grips it. So I'm going to pull up close to the toilet. I'm going to lock my wheels again. And then for this transfer, I do this one a little bit differently. I will take my left foot, or the foot closest to the toilet, and pivot it off of my plate. Because I'm going down now, I'm not worrying about my my bottom getting caught or moving anything. So this helps me get lower faster. So for this transfer, I'm going to lean all the way forward, put my hand on one side of the toilet, and my hand on the wheel or on my guard here. For this one, I'm going to do my wheel, and I'm going to pivot out, pushing off. This is actually something that I learned from my little sis Bree. She explained to me that it's easier to push off the wheel, and I'm always willing to learn. So thank you for that, Bree. And then I'm just going to keep going with that. Just going to keep pivoting, and now I'm going to put my hand on my edge of my seat cushion and just keep pivoting like such. Now I'm just going to realign my feet. And now they're flat. And that's how I do my toilet transfer. Now to get back in, I do the same thing as I do for my bed transfer. I put one foot on the foot plate. I usually am barefoot when I do this, so this is like awkward with shoes on. Okay. One foot on the foot plate like this. And I reach behind me this time. And I'm going to turn my body. I'm going to pivot it. And then I'm going to push off. And now I'm pivoted and like this. And because my foot is up, again, it's not going to get caught on the edge of my seat cushion. So now I am going to pivot on to the toilet. I usually do this really fast, so I'm trying, please bear with me because I'm moving slow and it's kind of awkward. Maybe I should just do it fast. So as I'm moving, I'm just bouncing off of the toilet seat and my cushion and throw my body back. I grab my wheels, realign myself, unlock my wheel again, just like I did for the bed, and I pick up my feet and put them on the plate. Next one. Okay, so never mind like my shower situation and my bathroom situation. This transfer I do differently because it's such a tight, narrow space, which I actually enjoy. I like when my chair has no room to move. So when I do transfers that on a bed or anything like that that's close to a wall, I like to try and wiggle my chair close enough so it gives it less room to move. So for this one, I do the same. I'm kind of locked in with the wall and my shower chair and my toilet. And also this is different too because when I get in the shower, I like to have my legs crossed at first because it's so narrow. So that's something you guys can keep in mind for transfers that are kind of small where you have shoes on, and not that I would get in the shower with shoes on, but that are small where you don't have enough leg room to get it over the edge of something. So I like to cross my legs and then put it over the edge. So I'm right here now. I will lock my brakes right here. And then I will start by putting my foot on the inside of the shower here. And then just like everything else, where I put my hand underneath my butt and I will just start scooching. And I'll put my hand on the seat. Gives me a little bit more leverage. So now I'm at the edge of my cushion in my chair, and I'm just going to pivot myself over. And I have to be careful because I've hit my head here a few times. So, and I'm just pivoting, readjust my hands, and pivot again. And then, like I've done earlier, put my hand in a different position on the cushion and just slide over. And I have this bar here inside of the shower, which is really convenient for me to move around and hold on to. So this is something that I do use a lot. So I put my hand here, or I could put my hand here and lock it out with my triceps, but it's not as safe for me because I do have weak triceps. I lock my arm out like this, or I use my bicep rather than my tricep. And then from here, I will just move my feet in. And just pivot as far over as I would like. And then I also have in my shower this bar here, so this just stays resting here, and I just lean over and adjust the hot and cold and all of that. Now to get back into my chair, this one I'm going to use my arm to lock out on the wall, and I'm going to pivot my foot out like such, and I'm going to leave this one here. I'm going to scooch, and then hand on the edge of the seat cushion, and I'm going to push off and then just try and get onto this. Like such. And then just like the toilet, readjust myself here. Pick up each foot. So for the one in the shower, I'm just going to hook my arm underneath, pick it up and cross it again, because it's so tight that I can't possibly put both feet on the footrest. And then I'm done. Okay guys, now we are in my TV room area, and I'm going to show you guys how I transfer on and off of the couch. I prefer to transfer on my right side more than my left side. Just because my right side's stronger, and when I'm moving I need that extra oomph to hold my weight and to drag my weight as well. So I'm going to go in an angle once again to the couch, lock my wheels per usual. This one, it doesn't really matter if your legs are crossed or not. That's just how I prefer to do it. I just usually always have my legs crossed, so I just figure it out as I go. I like to put one foot off of the foot plate for this one because it is lower. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I put my hand underneath my leg, and I'm going to scoot to the edge, and then I'm going to jump onto the couch. And then hand on the edge of the seat cushion, and I'm on. So that is one of the easier transfers. It's one of my favorites. I'd rather transfer on the couch than the bed, to be honest. What I would like to express to you guys is I love this cushion here because it has the grooves in the seat. It's not all air pockets. It's not all solid foam. I personally, as a quad, I don't have strong wrists, and they will give out on me when I'm transferring. So if it's straight across, my hand will slide, and if it's air pockets, my hand will just cave. So what I like about this is it has a room for the legs, and I like to use each section of it, like because there's like a bigger piece in the middle to push off of, and my hand doesn't slip. So that's something that maybe will be a good tip for my fellow quads who don't have really strong wrists and are afraid of hurting them while transferring. Okay, last part is getting back onto the chair. This may be a little bit easier, kind of repetitive with things that I've done already. So I leave one foot on the plate, and then I'm going to grab the middle of my seat cushion, pivot over, and then the edge of my seat cushion, and I'm just going to lift up and try not to get the edge. And that's something that I've learned is if things are higher and I'm transferring, it makes sense for that foot to be on the foot plate and not both, because you don't want your feet to get caught, you don't want your ankles to roll or to get hurt. So if I leave one foot on the plate here and I go to transfer, this leg is already lifted, where I won't catch the edge of the seat cushion as much as I would if it was down. And so now I'm just going to push up, and then the last one breaks. And as usual, last foot goes on the plate. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that I gave you guys some helpful tips. And like I mentioned before, leave some comments or suggestions down below. I love that you guys interact with each other on my comments and my feed, because it's like a good way for community to learn off of each other, because we are all at different levels and different abilities. So I am excited. This has been a long time coming for this video. I've thought about it for a while. Any comments that are absurd will be deleted, just so you guys know, because this isn't for any of you pervs out there. It is strictly to educate and hopefully encourage people to try new things and try different types of transfers. So I hope this video helped you guys. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next. Mwah.